So I'm going to demonstrate how to do a front roll from my knees. I put my lead foot forward. I put the opposite hand for support. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll over the shoulder where this foot, the lead foot is. That's like this. If I do it on the other side, same thing, right? Lead foot forward, opposite hand for support, and I'm going to roll over the back of my shoulder, not on my head. So I'm going to tuck my head in and finish off like that. I'll show really quickly since I'm here how to do a back roll. To do a back roll, you look, depends which side you're going to. If you're going to go over this side, you don't go over your neck being straight because you can hurt it. So you got to create an opening for your legs. So you can go either this way or this way. Put your chin to your shoulder. And then what you're going to do is you're going to try to get your legs swinging to end up in this space that I've opened up right here. And I'm going to do this. Roll over my shoulder. So again, front roll, back roll. You want to show how you do a front roll and a back roll? Nice. Next, I'm going to showcase how to do a breakfall. This will save you if you ever were to slip on something or fall. It's a good thing to learn, but ideally it should look like this. So what that does is if you end up falling, if somebody throws you or you slip, instead of having all that force, all that inertia on one joint, on your shoulder, on your hand, a lot of people break their arms, but you can really hurt yourself that way. So the concept is so that when you're falling, you're dispersing that energy. So instead of being focused on one spot, when it disperses onto the ground, there's less impact. I think of it like water splashing on something. When it hits, it kind of just disperses, and that's kind of how we want to do with a breakfall. So easy way to drill it. You can do a squatting position. You're gonna tuck your chin. You're gonna make like a little ball and almost land like on your back here. And as you're landing, you're gonna smack the ground and tuck your chin in so you're not hitting the back of your head. So that's an easy way of learning it. And then you can also do a side break fall. And then yeah, this is a useful skill even when you're walking. Let's say you slip on something, you're not gonna hurt yourself. Now we're gonna do a showcase how to do a proper stand-up. If you were ever in an altercation, if you're gonna end up on the ground, you probably wanna stand up. The natural way to stand up for somebody would be doing this. But when they're doing, they're exposing themselves to be attacked. So we call this a technical stand-up. So what you do is, put one hand, I'm just gonna show how it's done and then we talk about the mechanics of it. If you notice, I never turn my back on the opponent. And then you can take off. So the way you do it is, sit on your bum, put one arm, whichever one you feel comfortable with, put it out. The opposite leg is going to support you with this same arm, like this. So if you can do this, then you're set. You're gonna use your hand to block, and the main thing is to get this leg to go forward, like I'm floating, and then all the way back as I'm blocking. Vince, you wanna show how you do it? Do a break fall to a technical stand-up.
Okay.
Nice.
Never look down, just keep your chin up.
Right, always look at the opponent, right? It's a technique that they call hip escapes. We also call it shrimping. And this is a very useful technique that's utilized a lot in Jiu-Jitsu. And it's meant for when somebody is on top of you. The way you get away from them is instead of trying to use all your strength and trying to overpower somebody that may be putting their weight on you, the technique is to keep your hands between your chest and the opponent put your hips up, and then you turn and slide away. So if somebody were to be on top of me or on the side of me, that's the technique. I pulse my hands. In this case, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna put my heels to my bum as I'm blocking. I'm going to push off my heels to slide my bum all the way back here so I can escape my hips. That's what they call it, a hip escape. So I use this to create space between me and the opponent. I push off on my hips, and then I'm gonna push off and slide my butt. And that's what we call shrimping. A quick way to drill it is to go like this, other side, like this. And then the last technique I'm gonna show is a bridge and roll. Bridge and roll is when an opponent's on top of you, you will grab their arm and you will roll to turn it around and end up on top of them. For the warm-up, we're just going to do this. We're going to put with our hips, we're going to push up, arm's going to touch on the opposite side, reach high up. And that's the movement. Let's say that he somehow pushes me, I end up break my fall, but now he's looking down at me. So what we want to do here is, in Jiu-Jitsu we call this an open guard. And what I'm going to do is an open guard retention. So what I want to do is, it's almost like he's inside of my TV box. So my legs and my arms are where I want to aim to be facing him always. Preferably my heels on his hips, so I can create space. If he comes around this way, I lift my hips and I turn with him, right? And then if he goes the other way, so it's always about facing your opponent with your hips. So now if he tries to come around and try to tap the top of my head, try to tap me in the head, right? Keep going, try again. It's like those drills that we do in class, right? So I'm not letting him because I'm always facing him. And this gives me a good control of keeping my distance.